Hi, I'm Bill Scott, and this is my son Will.
I asked my dad to tell me about America.
And I thought, what better way to do that than to jump in a Corvette and head down Route 66.
Come join us. We'll be looking for historic and good places to eat, great places to stay, and beautiful American sights.
And historic spots, and who made them historic and why, and how they then became part of the American culture. A quick example. Route 66 goes from Chicago to LA. We're going to start from the west end. So Route 66 starts at Ocean Boulevard and Santa Monica Boulevard and heads east to the LA River. Over the years, where it crosses the river has changed. The riverbed was cemented over, and new bridges and new roads have changed the official route several times. All the routes end in Colorado Boulevard and then head east. At Azusa, it changes to Foothill Boulevard and continues east to San Bernardino. Then it follows what is now Interstate 215 and then I-15 to Barstow. Back to Pasadena and Colorado Boulevard. Two events are connected to Colorado Boulevard that represent American culture to the entire world. One is the Tournament of Roses Parade. It starts in Orange Grove Boulevard and turns right onto Colorado Boulevard. This intersection is where all the TV broadcasters film the parade. It's a sharp turn that requires special care for the largest floats, and large bands come up with creative ways to make the turn and still keep their formations. From there, it follows almost 5 miles down Colorado Boulevard. The Rose Parade began in 1890 by Pasadena's Valley Hunt Club. Its purpose was to showcase Pasadena's winter weather. One of the members suggested that in New York, people are buried in snow. Here, our flowers are blooming and our oranges are about to bear. Let's hold a festival to tell the world about our paradise. So they covered carriages in flowers and had a parade, then races, and a polo match and a tug-of-war. 2,000 people attended. In the 30s, the Rose Bowl was added, and now much of the world celebrates New Year by watching. Number 2 is a song. This song has a great story behind it. At the turn of the 20th century, people began to settle in Pasadena. They weren't rich like the people in Hollywood, but they had plenty of money to do whatever they wanted. Through both of the war years and beyond, Pasadena continued to attract such people and to grow. In the 50s, American car companies began to create powerful and flashy cars. The high compression overhead cam V8 produced big increases in horsepower. The transmissions weren't built to handle the horsepower increase. American engineers had put a lot of effort into perfecting the complicated linkage to put shift levers on the steering column to make shifting more convenient. These new motors required stronger transmission. The engineers started with truck transmission, added synchronized gears, and short throws. 3 on the tree was replaced by 4 on the floor. Add smaller, wider tires and chrome, and you have the forerunners of the muscle cars. The people in Pasadena could afford these cars. But also in the 50s, the men began to die off. Men tend to marry younger women, and women tend to live longer. So in the late 50s and early 60s, Pasadena began to increase the number of older widows in its population. They were uncomfortable driving them. Back then, driving was a man's job, and women could and did drive. But if a man and a woman got in a car, the man drove. Many of these widows wanted smaller, more reliable cars with automatic transmissions, so they traded them in. Soon, Pasadena's car dealers had many of these powerful cars on their used car lots. This was great for younger guys who couldn't afford the new ones. But they knew what they were going to do with them, and they wondered if the guy that had it before did. And was the car about ready to fall apart from being driven so hard? And in all truthfulness, the salesman would say, this car was driven by a little old lady from Pasadena who only drove it to church on Sunday. Johnny Carson of The Tonight Show used that in a joke. The whole country heard it. It became a cliche, leaving out Pasadena. Used car salesmen across America would say, but it was owned by a little old lady who only drove it to church on Sunday. So, in 1964, Dodge got the idea to capitalize on that. They found Catherine Miner, a little old lady wearing a small hat, a shawl, and kids' sneakers. They put her in a red Superstock Dodge Polara and filmed her racing and beating all comers. The commercials ended with her saying, "Put a Dodge in your garage, honey." So, Brian Wilson from the Beach Boys and Jan and Dean, inspired by the Dodge commercial, wrote the song, The Little Old Lady from Pasadena. And Jen and Dean put out a record. Later, the Beach Boys recorded the song, and since they are better known, usually get credit for it. Both of these insignificant events grew in popularity, and to the entire world represent a part of America's unique culture. Are you ready to go?
Let's get started.
If you see her on the street, don't try to choose her.
That's all for now, and may God bless.
Might try before, but you'll
See the USA in your Chevrolet. America's asking you to call. Drive your Chevrolet in the USA. America's the greatest land of all. On a highway or a road along a levee, performance is sweeter.
nothing can beat her.
Life is completer in a Chevy.